Data structure using C++, module 5, session 1. So we are going to discuss mainly two topics: priority queues and binary search trees. So in priority queues, we do have several definitions like max heap, min heap, max tree, min tree. So we will have a look at, and finally we will also look at application of a max heap for sorting given list according to ascending or descending order. In binary search tree, we will discuss different methods to insert a element, delete a element into a binary search tree class. Also, we will discuss what is indexed binary search tree. We'll begin with the session. So priority queue, so it is literally similar to queue. So what is a queue? Queue is a data structure where insertion and deletion happens to be taking place at two different ends. So in priority queue, it's almost same. So we expect several functions which queue have. That is, this operations include finding an element, inserting an element, deleting or removing an element. So to follow this, we use a method stop, push, and pop. So literally, a priority queue is a queue wherein every element belonging to the queue is having a particular priority. Based on this priority, either you can delete the element based on the priority. Maximum priority, if we address, then the element with the maximum priority gets deleted, or the maximum with maximum priority gets, element with maximum priority gets found out. So for search operation, if it's finding an element, find an element with a maximum priority, insert an element between the order, delete an element with maximum priority. Okay, so that's the definition as addressed. In max priority queue, the find operation generally searches for the element in a tree with the maximum priority, and delete operation deletes this element. Similarly, when you're talking about minimum priority queue, in minimum priority queue, the find operation searches the element with minimum priority, and delete operation deletes this element. So this is how the max and min priority queue are defined. Okay, then following that, we have an abstract data type for max priority queue. In max priority queue, the instances are not just a collection of elements, whereas it is indeed a collection of elements wherein each elements are having a priority. Okay, and the methods or operations involved in your max priority queue happens to be empty, size, top, pop, and push. We know what empty does. So empty returns if the data structure max priority is empty or not. It returns true if it's empty. Similarly, the size method would return the total number of elements present in your queue. Top would return the element with the maximum priority, since it is meant for max priority queue, and the pop is going to remove the element with the maximum priority. Finally, push is used to insert the element into the queue, and where it has to be inserted, that depends on the elements in the queue. Suppose if you are having 4 elements present in the queue addressed as 50, 40, 20 and 10. Now suppose assume 30 needs to be stuffed onto this queue, then the best position for 30 to be placed would be between 40 and 20, so that the elements after rearranging it would look like 40, 50, 40, 30, 20 and 10. So you'll get 5 elements now after pushing one element. Fine. So this is the abstract class of your max priority queue. So in abstract class, we are not doing anything, we just define it, we just define the operations, and we set its value to equal to 0, so that its derived class, the derived class of this max priority queue, can make use of this component, but this component is not going to do anything. It is just defined, it is just declared but it's not going to do anything. Hence the functions are meant as virtual functions, they don't do anything physically. Then we have a linear list representation for implementing a priority queue. So in for implementing a priority queues using linear list method, so we could consider a list as input to the uh, list. Input, let it be, let us consider it as an unordered list. Unordered list is elements. The elements present in the list are not arranged according to either ascending or descending order. So this type of list is known as unordered list, so wherein there is no relation between the elements present in the list. So order the list is having a relation between elements. So relation is almost all the elements are either sorted according to descending or ascending order. So why would we require this kind of a structure? So sorted array, if you want to transform a unsorted list into a sorted list, then you need to work upon different algorithms like bubble sort, or you may have to use insertion sort or even selection sort. These algorithms are used for sorting a given list according to either ascending order or descending order. So by doing those, by using this method or algorithm, so suppose assume that the list is arranged according to descending order. So elements all are sorted when it's sorted according to descending order, the element with the maximum element will be laying at the position 1, and the next maximum element will be at the position 2, and it repeats so on. So if you want to delete an element, you can delete an element from the rear end. Yeah, deleting an element happens to be at the front end, so delete the element. So the element with the maximum priority or the maximum value itself is going to get removed. So this is how you can delete an element. So take a unsorted list, sort it according to descending order, so you get the maximum element at the first position, remove it directly if it's meant for deleting an element. Suppose if it is meant for inserting an element, then definitely you will be knowing what values you indeed have in the queue. So based on the element which you are supposed to insert and based on the elements present in the queue, definitely you can come up with the conclusion which is actually the best position for your inserted data to be located in the queue. Fine. So this linear list is less important, will not be asked in your exam. So this is actually the method which you'll be following. Program is not that important, so we will not give more importance to this. Okay. So this is actually very important bit. So we will discuss first complete binary tree. What is complete binary tree? So complete binary tree for level 2, this is your level 2 levels you have. For level 2 complete binary tree, this is a complete binary tree. Level 1 you have 1 element, level 2 you have 2 elements. So this is a fully binary tree, and also it is a complete binary tree. Now suppose if you want to remove one element, then don't try to remove this element, you can try to remove this element. So while removing an element from a tree, try to remove an element which is first give importance to right subtree while deleting. Delete always the right child, not the left child of a particular node. So that's how you need to follow the rule. That's to ensure that after deleting the right subtree or right child, the tree will be complete binary tree. For example, if I remove this left child, so this will be the structure. So this is a complete binary tree with the level as 2. Whereas if I try to remove the left child prior to right child, then this doesn't look like a complete binary tree. This is not complete, this is an incomplete binary tree. Incomplete binary tree, when you place the elements onto the list, then you can figure out that there is a wastage of memory. Memory is not utilized properly for an incomplete binary tree. There will be many more memory locations which will be wasted off. So for a complete binary tree, almost all memory location, if you are transferring the data present in the tree to the list, then all elements will be utilized effectively. So complete binary tree is always preferred. So if you are moving on to level 3, This is a complete binary tree, and it is a full binary tree. So the element which you can destroy next, so one element if I want to delete, then this is actually the element which you have to delete first. Upon deleting that, you get this as the structure. This again is a complete binary tree. Now again from this you can delete element. So this left child for this node, so this is a node with only one child, so this can be removed now. Okay, so after that again look for the node with a children. So this is the node with two children, so now you can try to remove this. It doesn't violate it is still a complete binary tree. So you'll get finally this as the structure. Now this is actually the last way, or the final position, or this is one possibility, second possibility, third possibility, and this is also a fourth possibility wherein the tree could be a complete binary tree. Okay, so this is having left child, so no problem, you try to map all the elements of this binary tree onto the array list, so effectively you can utilize that memory. Now these are some of the examples of incomplete binary tree. Now here this same structure, what if I delete this left child of this node and keep this right child as it is, so you get a structure something like this. Now here there is a wastage of memory, one memory is not used, then you stop this element, so you call this as an incomplete binary tree. So you give a left child is not right child is not removed, whereas left child is removed prior for this node. Okay, similarly for this node left child is removed, right child exists, so this is also incomplete. Again for this you have you call this as a right skewed tree, and right skewed tree is a incomplete binary tree. Left child is nowhere present, so this is also an incomplete binary tree. Now we will discuss the definition of max and min trees. So we use this max and min trees for creating a data structure like priority queues. Okay, so max tree is a tree in which every node which you have it in a tree is having a value greater than or equal to that of its children. I repeat, every node present in a tree is having a value greater than or equal to than that of its children. So 14 definitely is greater than 12, 14 is greater than 7, that's correct. Similarly, if I consider this as the left subtree, its left subtree, this tree's left subtree is this, its rule if I consider 12 is greater than 10, 12 is greater than 8, so that is agreed. Then we have this case, a right subtree of this tree, 7 is greater than 6, so everywhere, all node you look at, so the node is having a value greater than that of its children, so greater or equal to than that of its children, so everywhere the rule is not violated, so this is a max tree. Similarly, this is second situation wherein it is a max tree, 9 is greater than 6, 6 is greater than 5, that's correct. Then 30 is greater than 25, even this rules are not broken, so these are three possible cases of a max tree for a height being 3. Similarly, we define min tree as a tree in which value in a node is having a value lower than that or equal to that of its children. So node value will be lower, or it could also be equal to than that of its children. So the different example for min trees are thus: 2 is less than 7 and 7 is less than 10. Similarly, 7 is less than 8. Similarly, 4 is less than 6. So every node, when you compare it with its children, so they are having a value lower than that of its children. Similarly, the same situation follows here. 10 is less than 20, 20 is less than 50, 11 is less than 21. So this is a definition of min tree. Okay, now let's discuss what is heap. So heap is a max heap or min heap. You have two. So max heap is a max tree first of all, and one more condition which you will add for the definition is it should be a max tree, also it should be a complete binary tree. So these two rules should be agreed, then only you call the tree as a max heap. Okay, so for a tree to be a max heap, it should be a max tree, also it should be a complete binary tree. Okay, so now let us discuss whether the given figure here, we had discussed this as a max tree. Now let us discuss whether it is a max heap or not. So when we look at is it a complete binary tree? That's the case which we need to discuss. So when we look at the node with the last node with the child, so we can consider this as a parent with the child, last node with the parent, okay, or parent with one child, or parent with the child. So this is having a node, this node is having, so this is a complete binary tree, also it is a max heap. Now coming back to this structure, so this would have been a complete binary tree provided the node, root node, was having a right child. Suppose if this was having a right child, then it would have altogether 4 elements. In that case, I would have called this as a complete binary tree. Now since at the level 2 you don't have a right child at a level 1, so this is a left skewed tree, with the two heights, height being 2, you can call it as a complete binary tree. But a left skewed tree with height being 3, you cannot call it as a complete binary tree. So this is incomplete binary tree. So this is not a max heap, whereas it is a max tree. Similarly, this one, level 2 left skewed tree, height of this tree is 2, so it is a max heap. So this is wrong, this is not a max heap, whereas these two are max heaps. Okay, similarly for min heap, you have min heap, we will not discuss. Min heap, similar to that, it should be a min tree, so similar to this structure. So this structure is a complete binary tree, this is not a complete binary tree, and this is a complete binary tree. So this is a min heap, this is not a min heap, this is a min heap. Okay, let's concentrate only on max heap. Okay, now let's look at the different methods which we need to include for max heap. So in max heap, data structure you have to construct here, and it is having an advantage. We will discuss the advantage of heapifying, reheapification later. So max heap, the main job or main objective of priority queue is to have an element with maximum priority. If it's a maximum priority queue, elements will be having a maximum priority, and max heap is going to give you the element with maximum priority. So always when you delete an element from a max heap, it is going to give you the largest element always, and you can place it in a list so that you can the sorted list, or after adding all element onto the list, that list would be always a ordered list, which means it will be arranged either as according to ascending order or according to descending order. Given a max heap, you try to delete all element from a max heap and try to pass this deleted element onto the list, and that list ultimately is going to be an ordered list. Either it will be a sorted according to ascending order, or it would be sorted according to descending order. We will discuss more about this later instance. Now let's see how to insert a element onto this max heap. So we are discussing about max heap. So this is a max heap. So is it a max heap? You have to understand. So every node is having a value higher than that of its child. So definitely this is a max heap. What if I want to add an element onto this heap? Where to add? That's the question. And what is the value element which you're going to add? That again is a question. Okay, now first thing is, the rule is max heap, it becomes max heap provided it should be a complete binary tree. So here this is actually the node where you can add an element. So this is actually the proper position where you can insert an extra node. So this terminal node is not having a children, so this node you can have a left child to this first, then you can have right child to this. Since you are inserting one element, altogether you have 9 elements, so you have to construct a binary tree or construct a heap with 10 elements. So constructing a heap with the 10 elements, this is only one position where you can fit the node. Then it becomes a complete binary tree. It becomes a complete binary tree, and it will be having 10 elements. So is that fine? So this will be the position where the element needs to be inserted. Now the question is, what? Let us discuss what the value be. Let us assume that we know this is the position where a element has to be inserted. Now let us look at what is the element. Now assume phi is the element. So phi would be located here. So phi you will be comparing, it has to be compared with its parent. Now let's assume this is the parent which we are concentrating, and this is the node which we are looking at. So 7 and 5 are compared. 7 is greater than 5. So you do not have to shuffle. So this is actually the correct position for the element which you are going to insert phi. So phi gets inserted at this position. So is it fine? So that's all. So this doesn't violate, no more it violates a max heap rule. Every element, every root element is having a value higher than that or equal to that of its children. Fine. Now let's look at the second context wherein you have a element 20. So this was actually the position for 20, but when you compare 20 with 7, it violates max heap condition. So 20 cannot be placed here. So it has to, its level is different. So it has to be moved up. So you move this element and bring this 7 down. So this can act as the child of 20. So you move 20, but that's again, it is not the exact position. It has to be still moved further. So after moving it up by 1 unit, so this will be the structure. 7 comes down and 20 reaches this position. Then again the 20 is compared with its parent. Okay, this will be child for this root. So compare it with its parent. So 8 and 20 when you compare, so this again is having a value greater. So again you need to shuffle. So 20 goes to this position now. So you are indeed here. 8 comes down. 8 is pulled down. Now 20 temporarily you have 20 at this position. Compare 20 with 9. So when you compare, definitely 9 is not having a value greater than 20. So it has to be pulled down and 20 will go to this position. So this will be the newly formed structure of the binary tree structure with the 10 elements. And you can observe that after inserting a element 20, this is still it is a max heap. This is a max heap indeed after inserting element 20, and 20 is reached to the root position. That's the correct position for 20 to be placed. Now as I've told you, how do you use this for sorting application? Now to delete an element, this element you are going to delete, correct? So when you delete an element, 20 goes, right? The next maximum element has to be reconstructed using this structure. Then you find that the next maximum element is 9. So 9 occupies this root position. So after 20 you have 9. Then after that you have 8. So when you delete every element from this max, don't you think that you're going to get either the list sorted according to the ascending or descending order? It depends, but all deleted element has to be pushed onto the list. Finally this list will be arranged according to either ascending or descending order. Now let us look at how do you remove element. So for removing an element, always the root element is removed. So 20 is the root element, and this will be the element which you will be removing. After removing, you have to ensure that this max tree doesn't violate the max tree rule. That is, it should be a complete binary tree, which means after removing this goes, which is the node which you are supposed to delete from this, and you have to make the arrangements accordingly. So when you observe this, this is actually the node which you need to delete. So 8 is existing here, 8 has to be destroyed, but where 8 has to go? Shall I place 8 over here? No, I cannot directly place 8 over here because it violates the condition. Suppose if if 8 has been placed here, if you would have 7 and 6 over here, then it would have not broken the rule. But right now it violates the rule because 15 you have, which is higher than 8. So directly 8 is the data which you have to remove definitely, but you cannot directly put it at this location. So initially what happens is this goes, 20 goes, this has to be replaced by the next maximum value. So you compare the left subtree and right subtree, okay, and 15 can go, but before doing that, first we will remove 8 from the link, because this structure has to be broken. So because now you have how many elements you have, 11 elements, it should be made 10. Okay, so heap with 10 node structure is this now. But 8 is actually the element you have to reinsert. The location for 8 we will look at in the structure. So this will be the structure. 8 is not there in the heap. We need to find the best position for 8 in the heap. Okay, now what happens next is you compare 8 with 9. So when you compare 8 with 9, 9 is greater, so that is not the position for 9. So 9 retains the same spot. Then we will compare the left child, the this 8 is compared, and here it goes, this left child and right child. When you compare, left child can occupy the root because that number is higher than the right child. So 7 is lower, 15 is higher, so 15 can go there. Now 8, you will check whether 8 can go to this position. You cannot place 8 to this position. Definitely 8 actually was a left child of was a child of 9, and 9 is having a value higher than this. So what can be done is 8 can be modified, 9 can be pushed here, 9 can be pushed here, and 8 can be placed here. So you can reshuffle this. 15 goes to this location because we found out that 15 is actually the second maximum element, so it goes to the root position. After that, this position is empty now, so here 9 is actually the next maximum element, maximum element which you can push it onto this location. So you go there, and finally this position is empty, and you have to figure out whether 8 can it be pushed here. So 8 can be pushed here. Now this again would doesn't violate the heap structure. Okay, so for the time being we will discuss this much, and we will see in the next class, we will see how to program this and what is heapification, the algorithm used.